Okay, sorry for the interruption. We're going to try this all over again. And so I wanted to talk to you guys this afternoon about being able to create the health that you want. And what does that take? And why do we somehow lose it along the way? Sometimes we're good, sometimes we're bad, sometimes we know what to do and we're just not doing what we need to do. Sometimes it can be not going to bed on time or eating the wrong things or some sort of self-sabotage, and why sometimes our healing journey can go up and down, and other times we actually don't eat what we should and we feel fine, and other times we eat what we should and we don't feel fine. It can be all really frustrating, that roller coaster. And sometimes we don't feel like we're necessarily in control of it all either. And so Joy and I were talking, and we wanted to get together to talk to you guys about different ways, different tools, really, that you can use that you might not even think about, and how it has made a difference in our lives. And Joy was actually just telling us how it made a difference in her life, not necessarily in her health, but manifesting the car that she wanted, and really being able to hold the vision. I'm just recapping, and I think I'm in a better place now, so we can kind of hit the restart button. But manifesting the health you want, and your story actually wasn't about health, but manifesting the car you always wanted. And so my question was, you had that vision, you knew that that was the car you wanted, you had already been working on your credit when the transmission blew, and you were really in a place where you had to get a new car. Okay.
And I really had to, I was, thank God that I was at a place where I had been working toward that goal for, I would say, at least a good year, year and a half, with getting my credit where I wanted it to be so that I could do that. And I held that vision, I really did, because the car that I was using before, it pulled its weight. It really did. It was being treated like an SUV, and it really wasn't. So it was really pulling more than its weight for that type of car. So it did well for how long I had it. But I really held that vision because that's what I wanted to do. And I think that you really have to put yourself in a frame of mind and say to yourself, how badly do I want to accomplish whatever goal this is that I have in mind? And do I want it to be something that I'm always going to be saying to myself someday, and think of it as far down the line? Or is it something that I am going to say, okay, what is it that I need to do step by step to make this a reality for me? Because everything else that you're doing in life, you're making it a reality for yourself right now or in the very near future. So if you can do that with the life that you're living right now, why not do it for the life that you want to live too?
Yeah. And so part of it is almost like planning ahead, not doing it last minute, visualization. And when it comes to people's health, especially if we've been feeling sick for so long and we're stuck in that story, and it's like, your friends ask you, hey, how are you? And you haven't talked to them in a month, and you just instantly start going to how crappy you feel. How often can you hold the vision of being healthy if you're constantly talking about how crappy you feel? And so, but yet you should be able to share with your friends, yes, I feel crappy. So maybe it's a little bit of both. Like, share with your friends what's really going on, but then really, in your mind's eye, hold a vision of like what it would look like, or what you would be doing if you really felt healthy. And so visualization is a really huge one. And then sharing it every time you can think about it, you know? Like, I don't know, like backpacking across Europe could even be a dream. Like if you started feeling good, you know, it's almost like, what is that top, like, notch feeling? Or even it could be just simple, like walking, you know, a mile. It doesn't even have to be huge. It's almost like, what do you want to do? And being able to visualize that. But then you can't go from, you know, not really, you know, doing a lot of physical exertion to, you know, wanting to be able to, like, backpack across Europe. So then what would be the steps to take? And like Joy was saying, it's like, it's something to work towards. You can't just daydream about it all the time. You'd actually have to act on it. But then it can get overwhelming, especially for people who don't feel good. So what advice would you give for that?
So when you're not feeling well, it's easy to jump right into a conversation about how you're not feeling well. But you could add to that conversation. If, say, a friend asks you how you're doing, you could tell them the truth if they're your friend and they'll understand. You could say, I'm not really feeling that well, but here's what I'm doing so that I can get back on track with my health. I am starting to take supplements. I'm seeing a practitioner who can help me discover what I need to do so that I'm supporting my body in its healing process. So you can share the bad, but you can also start inviting the good in as well so that you're not solely focused on the negative aspect of your health, because this starts telling your body, oh, yes, I don't feel good right now, but something else is happening so that I can introduce wellness into my life.
Yeah. And then what happens if you're on the journey and you're taking the steps and you've been working hard, but like, let's say what you thought was going to take 3 weeks to, you know, start feeling better. You're now on month 3 and you're just like really kind of tired of it all.
Patience and perseverance. Very work that for our body. Let's work on we we think that it's going to take 3 weeks, and even if the practitioner tells us it's going to take 3 weeks, our body might have something else in mind, and that doesn't mean that the plan that we're on right now is not working. It just means that the body needs a little extra time, so we have to have a little bit of leeway in there so that the body can accomplish what it needs at the pace that's comfortable for it timeline, in the body's timeline, and we don't know necessarily what that is. So we have to be patient with that and allow ourselves the time that we need.
Yeah, I guess especially if you're under a practitioner's care, then it can be explained versus just trying to guess at it. But even myself as a practitioner, sometimes I'm like, oh, your body's taking longer than I would even like. But it is about respecting the body, almost like as an entity unto itself. And a lot of times we don't. We're pushing it. We're expecting miracles from it. You know, we treat it nice for 2 weeks and, you know, we think it should be back to the way it was 3 years ago. Uh, the instant gratification does not work with the body. And so it is, health really can be for the long haul. But health, even if you're not feeling good, um, and you finally get there, it is about what you do to maintain it. Or let's say you've never really even had a whole big health concern your whole entire life. The goal is what you do to maintain it. Like, I want people to understand that concept of actually taking the time, investing, whether it's the gym or, you know, buying the organic food, buying the more expensive food, as an investment, eating well, sleeping well, whether they feel like they need a weighted blanket. You know, if you're not sleeping great, if you're waking up tired, like that's not a normal thing. So try to, you know, figure it out one way or another. It's all those little clues that the body will give you that if you listen, you know, you can do something about it, before it becomes like a real problem. And so, and really creating the health you want, I wanted people to understand, um, like, I think that we've gotten too complacent. And so waking up tired is normal. Having headaches can be normal. Having really bad cramps during our cycle for females, it can be normal. The aches and pains in the shoulders and knees can be normal, but it doesn't have to be. So it's like, if you're in great health, what do you do to maintain it? But also, if you have all these little things going on, what do you do to actually, you can create something even better. You have a relationship with your body. So I liked how you said the body as a separate entity, because it really is, in a way, and we need to listen to it before, things really do get out of hand. And I will tell you, if somebody comes into my office and says, like, I'm tired, and I'm like, how long have you been feeling that way? And they say 2 months. In my head, I'm thinking at least something's been going on for the last 8 or 9 months that they haven't even been aware of. So sometimes it's just about bringing the awareness up. And so, why do you think? Okay, so let's say you do believe in maintenance, you do believe in being proactive with your health, you're on a healing journey one way or the other, but why do people self-sabotage?
Probably there are several reasons, but one of them I can think of is that they feel that maybe health really can't be theirs, that other people can be healthy, but for some reason, whatever reasoning they attach to it, that they can't be healthy. And that immediately I think of people saying, well, I have this in my family. And so they immediately think that, A, if they don't have the malady already, they're going to get it.
Mm.
Can't change what's going on currently, that they can't be the part of that stops and creates health going forward, starting with them. So that's a big thing there.
Yeah, no, I liked how you said, like, if they think that they're going to get it, or they think they got handed these bad genes, then it's like a death sentence. And so it's like, if they think they're going to get it, then they are. And so what you think really does make a difference. The scientific word is epigenetics, which means the environment that the cell is in makes a difference with the way that the genes express themselves. And it doesn't have, genes do not have to be a death sentence. You were handed these genes, so this is what is going to manifest. And we do have control over the environment that our cells are in by the way that we take care of our body and exercise and what we eat and the amount of stress that we have on our body. At the same time, that environment that our cells react to is partly not just like, okay, the stress in our head and then the stress hormones in our body, but what we really think makes a difference in our body. And it reminds me of one of my really favorite books called Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. If you haven't read it, guys, you definitely need to read it. And I obviously talked about how what you believe in, what you think, really does make a difference in your body. And that's where the therapy, Psych-K, comes in, when we use muscle testing to actually muscle test what beliefs are stuck subconsciously, not consciously, but actually what's stuck subconsciously in the brain of why you can't create the life that you want. And Psych-K goes beyond just health, but literally why we get in our own ways in our life in general. And so to go back to, that car, wanting that car was psychologically, like, in your consciousness, you were visualizing it, you wanted it more than anything. But what if, and you got it, but what if you had something subconsciously going on in your brain that wouldn't allow you to get the car, whether it was you didn't believe you deserved it, or you needed to work harder for it. Those types of, it can be culturally, or like the way that we're raised. So it's cool. It worked for you and you got to manifest it because nothing was actually stuck in the way. So Psych K is awesome because if you are subconsciously stuck in one way or the other, we can muscle test and actually figure out where you're stuck. Sometimes people do know where they're stuck. You know,
Hmm.
they know that they don't feel worthy enough, or that somehow life can't be easy. That was actually one that I was stuck on. Like for some reason, like life always had to be hard, or you always had to work hard, to prove
Right.
yourself. It was. Is there anything like culturally that you were brought up with?
I think, yeah, similar to what you were just saying, that life is very hard, it's very challenging, and um, anything that's good, uh, that you can get it from hard work and really, really challenging yourself. And there is nothing that comes easy in this world that is of any value. And that may have been what we learned and what we were told, but certainly not everything has to be that way. And when we were talking earlier about making smaller goals so that they're accomplishable, when you're doing that, and not you'll find that not all of those goals that you have, you won't, when you break them up into bite-sized bits, each one of those doesn't have to be excruciatingly hard. Some of them are easy, some of them are a little tougher, some of them are very hard. It just depends on what they are. It depends on what your goal is and what you need to do to get there. But it certainly doesn't have to be. And there are definitely times when I say to myself, well, that wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be, or it seems very easy. You're like, that was really just much too easy. Did I do something wrong? We
Oh,
question, did I do
interesting.
something wrong? Because that was just
Yeah.
so easy. And no, you didn't. It's just that you're so used to working hard for everything that when something comes easy, you think you did it wrong, or you think you know, um,
It's too good to be true.
exactly. It's too good to be true. Thank you. I was thinking that, and I just couldn't verbalize it. It is too good to be true, or there's some catch to it, and that's why it was easy. And we think everything, it's just the tape playing in our mind that everything is going to be hard if it's worth accomplishing. And that's just not true. It really just depends on what you're trying to manifest in your life. So you need to be patient with yourself.
Yeah, and patience is a big one for me. I think that can definitely get in my way. I have perseverance, but I don't think I have patience. So maybe
I
I'm a.
think I agree with you for myself on that one.
I
I
think
definitely feel that way.
we're both walking contradictions. Like, how can you have that? But
But you know
I think.
something, it's not really, it relates well to this because no one here is perfect. Everyone is a work in progress. We're all here to support each other. Just because we're practitioners doesn't mean that we exist on a level above anybody else. We all have our goals that we're working towards, and we all have times when we feel like it's just so far away to accomplish it. Is it ever going to get there? Drinking water is a big example of that. How many times have you talked to people, have I talked to people, and it's, how is the water intake going? Really bad. I'm trying, getting there, something like that. And you know what? It's not a test. It's not, I'm not trying to make anybody feel singled out. And I know that you're not either. We're all here to support each other in our journeys to be healthier. And water is a big part of that. And hey, if you're getting 60 ounces of water a day, if you're getting 50 ounces of water a day, 20 ounces of water a day, you're getting something. And you know what? Good job. Keep going. Try to push that goal a little farther, and just keep on adding ounces to what you're doing. So look at it in terms of, you know what? I'm 1/5 of the way there. So now let's try to get 2/5 of the way there, and just keep trying it. And if you fail one day, okay, so everybody messes up. We just have to keep on doing it the next day and the next day and the next day. The point is that we keep trying, because with water, you absolutely need it. And I know I've told people that many times, and I am a work in progress with that as well. So I'm trying as well, and we all have to just support each other in that.
Yeah. I like how you said, like, it definitely is about supporting each other. I
Mhm.
feel like we're our own worst enemies when it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I've only drank 40 ounces of water. And so you beat yourself up over the
Right.
missing 20 ounces. But
Right.
instead of actually practicing gratitude for the fact that, oh, I did do at least 40 ounces and tomorrow's a better day. So as you know, you're here with your health, you want to get here, and this feels like a huge gap and it's full of ups and downs, but know that you're supported. And I mean, we're lucky enough, to have the knowledge to know all the steps that go in between these two goals, to get you from here to here.
Hmm.
But when people beat themselves up, it doesn't help at all. It can actually even create more self-sabotage. And so it's like, oh, if I could get patients out of their own way, we could go
If I could get
faster,
out of my
people.
own way.
And so because of that, because we want you guys to know that you're supported on your journey, Joy and I came up with a 21-day challenge to get you guys excited again about your healing journey. And so it's going to start June 1st, but everyone has to either tell me today or tomorrow, May 23rd, if you're in the 21-day challenge or not. And so it'll start June 21st or June 1st and go until June 21st. And then I will actually muscle test you in person to see how before and after picture. So you need to get tested before June 1st and then after June 21st. And then we will announce the winners on June 25th. And the winner gets a free half-hour Psych K session for me or with me. And it is to know that you're supported. And the winner is the person that I see has the most change before and after the 21-day challenge. And so it's based upon their own personal before picture and their after picture. And so, because everyone is somewhere else, in this different cycle of healing, one way or the other. And so it was the only fair way to be able to compare people is with themselves, not with other people. And we wanted you guys to feel supported. We wanted you guys to feel like you could do it. We wanted you to reach for something. And so kind of, put the fire under you guys in a different way or in a new way, because we know it can get dragging or you're good for a while and then you fall back on. So this is a way to get you guys back on, for the summertime. And so Psych K is a wonderful tool in which we muscle test to actually figure out what belief systems are stuck in the subconscious, and then we neurologically do exercises during the treatment to have the nerves fire differently in the brain. And so just the concept of brain plasticity, we might have to have a whole nother Instagram live on, Joy.
Okay.
But the idea is literally you can change how the neurons fire in your brain. And that's one reason why visualization is so good, and affirmations, and being able to hold, a goal or a vision, and to be able to talk about it and to keep your mind there instead of, on the trouble that you feel like you're having.
Hmm.
All of that plays on the brain and the neurons as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, you can email me at info@healingartsnyc.com. I will also post the video in tomorrow's newsletter, and you guys reach out to me and let me know if you're in the 21-day challenge, either today or tomorrow. And I'm really excited to see what happens.
Good luck, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.